let's be honest, I'm not going to pull any punches this time, but some Burnley pages, they like to be all positive and all that bollocks and, we'll still be all right. I do still think we'll be okay. But that was not good enough. The players need to know that was not good enough. That is not good enough. Ben Mee and James Tarkovsky, they didn't have a fucking clue. Sorry, they didn't have a clue how to handle ASM. Same with Danny Ings last week, as soon as it started running at them, they shit themselves. Not good enough. And Tarky thinks he's going to this Leicester or stuff next season. He'll get exposed playing like that, 100%. He'll get exposed playing like that. They're both worried about Wilson. He's just showing the ASM goal again. They're both too busy piss-farting about, pointing at Wilson. Just had some stars. Give me a second. A mid-rant. Robbie Lindsay, an old friend of mine. Thank you very much for the stars. He'll get a badge now that says star sender. But yeah, going back to that, not good enough. If we go down now, which, let's be honest, I've said a million times, I do still think we'll be okay, but it is a possibility. It's not like we can't go down. It is a possibility. They've only got themselves to blame. And then should Tarky get this move to this big club? He obviously will, because he won't play in the Championship, as will Pope, as will probably JBG, as I presume Brownhill and stuff like that will. But then why? Because they've all been shit today. They were shit last week against Southampton. It wasn't good enough. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Alex Spedding, Dwight McNeil's least favourite fan, says, we are shy. What a set of absolute gammon-handed reptiles. Headed, I think he meant. Matt Lawcott just says, fucking wank. Matt says, that hurt more than last week. Yeah, I think because they're below us and you look at Southampton's side and you look at their front four and you think they shouldn't be down there. Whereas Newcastle, they're shit. They've got two good players, and they're the two that hurt us coming on when they came on, and we just couldn't handle them. But it's two players. Like we've played so well in the past against your Liverpools, even this season, your Liverpools, your Arsenals, and they've got better players than them. But yet we defended well against them. But for some reason now we can't defend at all. At all. The last few games we just cannot defend. Lee says F off. Then he says not you, Joe. Thank you. Thank you for clearing that one up. Sammy says Dash needs to go in and sledgehammer the shit out of Tarky and me. He needs to sledgehammer the entire squad. Let's be fair. I have give Tarky and Ben Mee a bit of stick just then, and they were not good enough. Both of them were not good enough in that game. 100% you are out with that. But the midfield weren't good enough either. They weren't helping out the defence with them two goals because they were just running at them. Well, the second goal, the ASM goal, there were no midfield anyway to be seen. And how many chances did we have? We had loads of chances. We put the ball in about 50 times. We had about 5,000 corners. It's the entire squad. The entire squad there. Tom Grant says, Dash, better go and do them Stone Cold Stunners. Matt Ellis says, absolutely disgusting. Burnley management needs something else at the minute. We need to get his head out of his arse, basically. I think they've slightly been on the beach. Maybe they think that they can't go down because of Fulham being so bad, which is the only reason why I think we'll stay up, because Fulham are so poor. But maybe if we get beat at Fulham, then fuck me, I'll be panicking. Adam says painful loss. Daniel James Omerod just simply says shite. Pace will be crying about having to spend money in this summer. I don't know where all the Pace hates come from. There's been a few comments. I'm not picking on Alec again, but there's been a lot of comments about Pace. He's done nothing wrong so far. Let's give the man a chance before we start slagging him off. He does need to spend, though. Let's get that straight. Matt Ellis says Sean Dyche looks to be Crystal Palace bound. Well, there's some rumours, isn't there? We spoke about them earlier in the stream, but would he deserve to go to Crystal Palace if we go down? Probably not. He'd have his own mess to sort out here. Just getting a lot of comments. Absolutely shocking, says Antoinette. Totally agree. Paul Yates, it's on screen there for you. You can all read it. Tom Grant said, we'd rather beat the teams around us in the top 6 teams. As long as we get the 3 points, I'm not arse. But yeah, obviously, because now that's given Newcastle a boost, hasn't it? And 3 points, where I wouldn't have wanted that. Gicky says, difference is we had nothing on the bench to change the game, and they did with ease. I agree with that, obviously, but we did have options to an extent. We had Cork. I'd brought Cork on a lot earlier. I don't know why he's just brought Mumbongo on the 88th minute and done nothing about it. If he's still having a paddy to show the board that, like he did earlier in the season, that we don't have any depth, now's not the time. Although I do agree with you, we obviously don't have anything to bring off the bench, and that's the previous board's fault, not Pace's fault. Surprise win at United, do you think? No fucking chance, Reese. If we win at United, then it would be typical Burnley this season, wouldn't it? But come off it. We can't be coming off. My old mate Paul's in the chat. He says Burnley will still be fine. Things could be far worse. Fulham couldn't score in a brothel. And that is the reason why I think we will stay up. But let's be fair, that was a fucking joke. That was an absolute joke. Not good enough. Not good enough. And the only reason why we're staying up is because the other teams are so shit. We drew at home against Brighton. We've drawn at home against Fulham. We've lost at home against Southampton. Who else is there? I'm sure there'll be other examples. Obviously, just then lost at home against Newcastle. We should be above like around the teams like Palace and Sunderland, Southampton and Leeds with them games that we've not won. We'll stay up, but we'll stay up because Fulham aren't good enough. Basically, another Blackman fan in the chat. Get a laugh. You got beat against Wickham. Know your place. Sammy Dartnell says Dash needs to headbutt the entire team. We do not promote violence here on TurfCast. But on this occasion, yes, Dash. Go in, stunner them, headbutt them, do everything you need to do. Graham says, can't wait to hear the post reaction from Dash and with the same frustrating crap comments. He needs to come out and just say the team have bottled it 2 games in a row. It won't do because of the effect that will have on the team. But what I think will happen now is he had that meeting, didn't he, this season that we nearly went down when Joe Hart were in net and it all turned around then. He had a meeting last season. They need to have one of his meetings. He needs to go in there, cook all them omelettes for them players that we're going to sign in the summer, have this big, massive squad meeting and say, basically, you're not good enough, but it won't do it in the press. He will just say all the usual generic, oh, well, they've got depth, we don't. He'll use that as an excuse, something like that. When they've got them sort of play. We'll play a Dash bingo. Now, I won't be live by the time his comments come out, but I bet you any money he says something like, when you've got a player like ASM quality on the bench, blah, blah, blah. You've got this man who they bought for 40 million quid in Joe Linton, his shit. That's what his excuse will be. I cannot believe how much the commentators are against us. I'm against us after watching that, Mark. That were dreadful. Keith says, do you remember when we could defend the lead? Feels like a long time ago, doesn't it? Paul says, twice Tark should have gone and shown the TWAT down the line and take away from goal. Yeah, and I do think him and Ben were poor today. However, I think ASM's done well to cut inside and get his shot away. But a better defender, that won't happen to. It won't have happened to Tarky last season, put it that way. Punch in the gut, that says Joe, definitely. What did we do with 3 weeks off, says Dan. I think they had some time off, actually, mate. Obviously, the ones that weren't on international duty. David Nugent. Nah, we've had him, mate. He's shit, Paul. Did not know you were at Tranmere, though. I've seen your whinges on Twitter, Paul, by the way, and I just thought it was another guy called Nugent. I didn't think it were actual David Nugent, the former Preston bastard. Robbie Lindsay says, just frustrating, losing a lead again. We had a lot of the ball today. We're not as bad as everyone's making out. No, but we should have put that game to bed. We were bad defensively when them two brought them players on. But the game should have been out of reach by then. It should have been minimum 2-0. We had all them chances. No worries. Sammy says, cheers for today, though. Troy Duxbury is not like an overreaction. He says, dash out, pace out, paces. He's done nothing wrong. One more comment from Robbie. He says, we did a lot of attacking today, some great chances, the balls in good places, but let down with finishing a position. It wasn't all performance, all in all. Different day, 3-0. We just get beat on the break after conceding a goal. I agree with that pretty much bang on. But a better team would have put Newcastle to bed there, wouldn't they? Let's be honest. Hopefully we can bring the players in and have some better players next season, because all for Vidra and Wood's quality the last few games. You've got to be looking at them for not putting the chances away. You've got to be looking at the midfield for exposing the defence for that second goal. And you've got to be looking at the defence as well for the second goal, because it weren't good enough. Anyway, that's it for me. That's my match reaction. I'm going to take the little man out. He wants to go and see some trains. So I'm going to go and take him to see some trains. Don't know why he's got into trains all of a sudden. Well, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for the stars. We've had loads of stars. It's probably the most ever stars we've ever had on the stream. I will get a Patreon set up in response to what everyone was saying earlier in the stream. The Patreon plan for it will be, it'll be there this season just to be there for those that want to contribute and help. You don't have to, obviously, but next season we'll start offering something different for it. Like if you sign up to the Patreon, you can watch this show, or you can be on this, or something like that. In fact, that could be a perfect way to get people involved in the live match reaction, couldn't it? But yeah, fingers crossed. Thank you everyone for watching. And I'll see you for the podcast on Thursday, where I will be miserable again, like I was this week on the podcast. And hopefully I'll be with you for the podcast, the watch along for the Man United game next week, where hopefully we get a result. But I'm not going to be holding my breath. We just need Fulham to stay 7 points away from us. We just need Fulham to get beat. They've got Arsenal next. They should get beat. Keep Fulham 7 points away from us. Every single week is another week where we are closer to safety at 7 points. As soon as it gets down to 4 points, because they've got a players, then my arse will be like that, twitching like mad. But yeah, thanks very much, and I'll see you for the podcast on Thursday.